So there was a question here, Elan, for you, talking about coordination in a diplomatic, political level between different countries in the world. How do you see the possibility of having this kind of coordination, collaboration between different countries? And in what specific topics and aspects do you see this kind of collaboration?
Well, that's exactly what I do. I mean, as America's lead diplomat on the fight against anti-Semitism, much of my work, and in addition to the policy work I do, much of my work is diplomatic, bilateral and multilateral diplomacy with countries around the world to coordinate our efforts to fight anti-Semitism. And I'm happy to report that we enjoy remarkable partnerships. In fact, you know, I'm actually optimistic. If I weren't optimistic, I wouldn't have taken the job. I'm actually optimistic because we have a great many partners around the world who are extraordinary leaders at all levels of government, from heads of state, certainly at the ministerial level and parliamentary level, and anti-Semitism coordinators who are game-changing leaders and committed in remarkable fashion to the fight against anti-Semitism, because they understand that anti-Semitism isn't only about the Jews, and the fight against anti-Semitism isn't only about protecting Jews. Anti-Semitism is history's greatest barometer of human suffering. And so it is a danger, a clear and present danger, to all of our societies, to all of our values, and to all of our collective children and their future. And so our partners around the world get that, understand it, and are fighting very hard to work real change on the ground. It's one of the reasons, by the way, that there's been a civil war in the Labour Party in the UK. It's one of the reasons why, by the way, that through the leadership of people like Lord John Mann and Lord Eric Pickles and others, that many Brits who were surveyed in exit polls said that anti-Semitism was one of the reasons they voted the way they voted. I mean, think about that. You know, we talk about the bad news often, but we don't talk about the big wins. You know, when you've got ordinary rank and file Brits, a major country in Europe, saying that I'm embarrassed by anti-Semitism. This isn't the kind of country I want for my children. That is a huge win. In France today, every single police cadet and every single prosecutor cadet in the country is being trained on hate crimes prosecution. And again, that's a program, and thanks to great leaders in France who've instituted this. In Germany, thanks to the work of people like anti-Semitism coordinator Felix Klein, and Germany has federalized the fight against anti-Semitism. So not only is there a federal coordinator, but 16 separate German states have their own coordinators fighting anti-Semitism. It's one of the reasons why, in a groundbreaking moment, the German Bundestag voted that BDS is anti-Semitism. And not only did they say it's anti-Semitism, but the German Bundestag stated BDS is reminiscent of the Juden boycotts of the 1930s. And it's a remarkable statement. That happened 8 months ago, but more recently, the Austrian Bundestag voted that BDS is anti-Semitism. You know, I mean, the examples are all over the world through the work of people like Frédéric Poitier, Katharina von Schnurbein, who's the anti-Semitism coordinator for the EU, worked out a deal with internet companies where anti-Semitic content is removed within 24 hours of a report. So, you know, there are really great things happening around the world thanks to our friends and allies and partners who get it and understand it. And on that score, I want to end my answer by saying that of all the people around the world, and we have great friends, champions of the cause, there is no greater champion of this cause than the US administration. From President Trump to Vice President Pence to my boss, Secretary Pompeo, we have never had a leadership team in the United States committed in this fashion, in an unprecedented way, to fighting anti-Semitism, to protecting the Jewish people throughout the world, and to supporting the state of Israel. And with that kind of commitment from the United States of America and from our friends and allies as well, with whom we have the great privilege of working on a regular basis, we can roll this back, and God willing, we'll do that.